Well, my pledge to people is I never summarize anyone else's book or anyone else's biography. How miserable for you to have to sit there and listening to me doing either of those things. So probably a good place to get started is if you would give esteemed audience kind of an overview of your background, and we'll go from there.
I think it's probably more miserable for me to listen to myself. So I'm a literary agent. I started off at the Seymour Agency back in 2012, 2011. And as a literary assistant, worked my way up. 2016, I branched out to form Tobias Literary Agency. I have a bachelor's in, I honestly don't remember. It's either liberal arts or psychology. The moment I got my degree, I lost it, and I have no interest in paying $50 for a new one. And it was like
you pay how much to obtain it, but not $50 for the piece of paper.
Yeah. This was like 12, 13 years ago. So I'm like, I don't even remember. But yeah. So, I'm from Boston, lived all over. That's the story of me. Not that interesting.
Well, I read a number of interesting anecdotes, starting with I read that when you were 8 years old, your grandfather would give you $5 to read the classics. That's $5 per book he was paying?
Yes, $5 per book, and then we would have to discuss them. And I remember he had me read Ivanhoe because, I was a D&D nerd, and he thought I would love it. And I was like, this is the worst book ever. He was very surprised by that. And I don't remember much else about our discussion. I just remember hating Ivanhoe and him being surprised by that. I was like, it's too long, too boring. So yeah, that's the story.
It's an ambitious read for an 8-year-old.
Which is probably why I hated it.
I was trying to think for $5. I know when I was a kid, that would have bought you a Super Friends action figure. That was good money. I think you need like maybe $10-15 to pull that off today. What was the $5? What was the thing you were hoping to get?
I don't think anything. I think it was just awesome to have $5. It's funny because that's what my nephew does. He hoards money for no reason, just wants to have it. I'm like, yeah, it's a good goal, save your money.
I hoard money for video game characters, which is like ultimately stupid. Like my video game character, by the time they get to the end of the game, they are set for retirement. They're good.
Good. Yeah, I started actually to splurge on myself. Now I'm looking for here it is. My Ahsoka Funko thing. Oh, you can't even see it because of the. That's interesting.
Maybe if you hold it in front of you. There we go.
Oh, here we go. My Ahsoka.
So you must be counting down the moments until the Disney Plus series then.
I am. I cannot wait for Kenobi. Mandalorian was amazing. Loved it. Yeah, so I wish they'd come out sooner.
Yeah, I watch Rosario Dawson play Ahsoka all day long until I'm sure eventually they'll reboot her, and whoever they reboot with will be excellent as well. But I'll keep them coming.
Yep. Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, that was amazing.
Just finished Dope Sick. It's my favorite series, I think, of the year, and she is just incredible in it.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of teared up at the end. It was powerful. Evil Sacklers.
It was, yeah. I mean, I knew the broad outline of the story, but until they went through and point by point evidence, there was a part of me that still held out faith that maybe the Sacklers were just woefully misguided. Nope, just that evil.
Nope, just that evil. Some people are bad at the core.
Yeah, unfortunately, that seems to definitively be the case. And the fiction author in me always wants to find the protagonist like Vader-esque Anakin Skywalker qualities to everybody. That, oh no, there was a good person in there all along. And for all I know, maybe Richard Sackler, I'm gonna say Richard Ahsoka, Richard Sackler had always wanted to write an opera. He had some wonderful untapped artistic thing within him, and if we could hear that opera, we'd be like, oh, that's probably not gonna cancel out all the evil you did, but there was a little bit of nobility in there.
Interesting. So are you a Vader apologist?
Yeah, so far. I mean, we'll see what happens with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh my, I'm like one of the few Vader apologists. No, he's a good guy at heart. I mean, yeah, he murdered children and like conquered the galaxy, did all this evil stuff, but you know.
Well, theoretically, spoilers for anyone who's not seen Star Wars, but theoretically, when he blows up the Death Star, he does way more good in the galaxy than, a few murdered kids way back when.
That's funny. That is funny.
And I had read that you had been writing historical novels for a bit about the Civil War.
Oh, yes. I wrote a very bad novel a long time ago that is no longer, I hope, available, knock on wood. But yeah, those who do, those who can't teach or agent. I think most agents are either writers or wanted to be writers and failed out of that.
Well, with your missing degree that was in psychology or liberal arts, if you had it, if you paid the $50, I bet it'd say it right there.
I know. Right? I paid enough for college. I'm not giving them another 50.
But did you have like a clear ambition when you were young? I will definitely do this, or were you just kind of enjoying life and figuring it out as you went?
Yeah, I always wanted to be a writer, but other than that, I had no idea what I was doing. When I went to college, my grandfather said, "You're majoring in business," and I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess I'm majoring in business." And then I switched my major a number of times, which is why it may be difficult to remember exactly what it is. And around 2009, I graduated, and I was like, I'm going to sit down and write this novel. And it took a few years, and I don't even remember when it came out, maybe 2011, 2012. And, it was with a small press, and I thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then I fell into the industry of agenting and all that jazz. And, looking back, I was like, it's probably not a very good novel. Let me pull it from the world.
Well, it looks on paper like a straight line meteoric rise. Because I think, but Nicole, is it Rossettini, your mentor?
Yes, Rossettini.
She told you to pursue your passion to be a literary agent? Is that kind of the story?
Yeah, she absolutely basically forced my hand into it, said, "You'd make a great agent, be an agent. I want you to be an agent." I was like, okay, I guess I'll be an agent. I was very resistant at the beginning because I have great reverence for the job and writers in general. And I know it sounds corny and cheesy, but I mean, you're literally guiding someone along the path of their dream. I mean, when you write a book, I know it's your baby, it's your blood, sweat, and tears. It's you on paper. Even if, you're writing characters that you hate that aren't like you, you're putting your blood, sweat, and tears into it.
And having had that experience of writing your own novel, I assume that gives you a direct insight into how much that meant to you while you were writing it, if not now.
Yes, absolutely. My grandfather was the one who was like, "Yeah, you're not going to do it. It's very difficult." I was like, oh, okay, so that means I have to do it. So yeah, it took years and I did it. And I mean, the product wasn't that good, but I did it. And that's what matters to my, little Jewish heart.
I've got some terrible novels on the shelf I'm looking at right now. It's just a graveyard of dreams from young me. But on the bones of those dreams, just like Anakin on the bones of those young Jedis he slaughtered, by God, built built up to a point where I can destroy a Death Star. That metaphor kind of fell apart. But the point is, those experiences do translate and do stay with you and help you on to the next thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Which is, I think, where part of my reverence for writers and helping guide clients comes from, because I know, like you said, I know what it's like.